Okay, welcome back. It's 4/7 of 2015. We're wrapping up Robert Jenson's systematic theology. He's at the latter portion of the book now, and he's really wrapping things up. We have looked at his doctrine of the metaphor of rapture, and we're going to take a look at Gnosis and the theory that Gnosis becomes perfected in the Eschaton. And so he wants to look at that idea of an evolving perfection of Gnosis and see what that looks like. He does that in the latter portion from 341 to 351. We'll take a look at the three moments. It basically deals with the tension between hearing and seeing as regard to Gnosis and how that will progress in the Eschaton. Initially, in the world of finitude, Gnosis is a hearing but not seeing. Within the kingdom of God and finitude, our Gnosis is based on the role of the Son as speech act and hupakuo, or spiritual hearing. That's our present way of ascertaining the truth and perceiving the divine through the methodology of hupakuo, or spiritual perception. And hupakuo equals faith united with hearing. A lingering self-seeking ego hinders the presence of a divine knowing from our ability to fully grasp the divine. And our eschatological future still seems as a huge disparity to us and almost alien. And Robert Jenson calls this limitation of the ego the incurvature of ego. The incurvature of ego is the way he defines that limitation. Now, in the Eschaton, the modalities of seeing and hearing are going to be transcended. And they're going to be transcended by that perichoretic unity within the divine ousia space, the tri-mutual space of converse. The perichoretic unity between the Father, Son, and the Spirit in that realm will transcend the finite methodology of knowing. Now, the Eschaton's deifying gift of Spirit to believers will include the concept of a hupadoxa, or hyperdoxa, as the outpouring of the illumination by God, and it will be coupled with an enabling of humanity to endure this fuller type of illumination. But Jenson's question is this illumination equal to God's hupaousia? In other words, is it equal to his most perfect essence or not? And he says no, really, the illumination apprehends God's being as energia, or God's existence, not his essence. But he reminds us that Aquinas said that God's essence is equal to his existence. He doesn't have that disparity that we have between essence and existence. God's essence equals his existence. But there will be a transcendence of our knowing of the finite realm, because in the finite realm we always know through the senses. So hyperdoxa illumination is constituted as God's entrance into the finite mind, informing the believer's mind to himself. So it's an action of the Spirit on the side of divinity. This constitutes an egeiro lifting, the same word used for resurrection, an egeiro lifting of the mind's capacities. And it is a beatified vision. Beatified vision is the concept that Jenson applies. Now, the methodology for beatified vision is the perfection of our sanctification. It's an act of a spiritual turning of our unity with the Son toward the existence of the Father. So in the kingdom of the Eschaton, hearing and seeing are both transcended. Hearing will be hearing coupled with simultaneous seeing, and it'll be achievable because believers will share in the Son's relatedness to the Father. So now we're ready to move on to the third moment of when seeing and hearing become united. Okay, in the third moment, Gnosis as hupakuo becomes Gnosis as being face-to-face with the divine. After final judgment, as concert of grace, the incurvature of ego is an impossibility. Now the concept of time is taken up by Jenson. Believers are enjoined with the Trinitarian time. This translates as being the in perfect congruence with the perichoretic unity in the ousia trimutual space. So what does it mean to be living within the reality of where God is all in all? We transition from image bearers to knowers of God. Instead of knowing every answer, we will be blessed with novel revelations and new questions. So it'll be like new modes of discovery. The space of accommodation will be expanded between the self and the divine. Remember, that's the space that allows us to be taken up within that trimutual ousia space. But knowing will never achieve rest. It'll always be striving after the divine that is always infinitely beyond us. I mentions the concept of bodily resurrection. He says that's to be understood as communal, first of all, and then it is pointing to the totus Christus, which equals our embodied full convergence with triune time. Body is linked with time, according to Jenson. We are embodied within the inner dialogue between the Father and the Son. And this raised up embodiment has three specific aspects. Our raised up embodiment will be a positing. We are posited in the freedom of the divinity, of the trimutual divinity. We are named by the divine. Remember that concept of logomena that Jenson introduced. That's that name written in the Book of Life. He prefers to describe that writing in the Book of Life as a speech act of naming us. So we are mentioned by the divine as a logomena, and we are put into motion. We are actualized in the inertia of God's intention, which is, in other words, putting us in perfect unity with the unrestricted unitary logos of the divine. So it's very much a gnosis which transitions from the realm of finitude and the spiritual gift of hupakuo spiritual perception to the Eschaton as a Gnosis originary act on the side of the divine first, who enters our mind through the modality of spirit and then brings us into that inertia of Gnosis to reach new explorations of revelation and the discovery of new questions, and that novelty will continue to create life. So a very brief look. It's just a little bit, he's wrapping up a few concluding comments here before he closes things out, but he wanted to drop a few notes on Gnosis. That takes us through 351. We only have one more lesson left, and then the book is complete. So really this is